we see them fall, we see them give into temptation, and we see this doubt interaction where she's like, well, did God really say that? Is he maybe holding out on me? Maybe there is something okay with this. I'm not sure. Maybe God didn't really mean what he said or whatever. Enough for her to go ahead and give into it. And who knows where the heck Adam was. He's right there just letting it all happen. But they both gave into it. And then the amazing part is we see God pursue them. They hide. They run away. But it's God who chases after them. After they screwed up, he goes running. He goes towards them, and he goes, I'm trying to find you, even though he knows where they're at. And they've already tried to make a way to cover themselves because they have this new understanding. But there's God pursuing them. And then the other aspect of this is talking about the furious love of God. Because this is where we really encounter a part of God that is hard to understand. Okay? It's a part we don't talk about a lot at church or in Sunday school, for sure. But it is the holiness of God. And the word yar in Hebrew is a sense of terror, awe, and worship. And a lot of times, even I've done this myself when I'm reading, and it's the Spirit of the Lord. I'm like, yes, worship the Lord. But it is so much more than that. It is a holy terror because of this perfection. I struggled with this. I would read stuff in the Old Testament, and I was like, this God is very mean. He's not like Jesus who's like, turn the other cheek. It was a hard God to reckon with because you'd see women and children dying, and the prophet who got made fun of, and they're like, oh, I'll send bears to eat up the people who made fun of him. I'm like, well, that's one way to take care of bullying, it's just kind of intense. And then the guy who kind of like trips and stumbles, and they open the earth, they like kill him and eat him because he touched the Ark of the Covenant. I'm like, well, good grief, he might have been tired that day and found a stone, and he tripped on it. And it just was very hard for me to wrap my head around this. So I bought books that were called like Angry God and all these other things, just trying to figure out what is this? And what it kept coming back to is the holiness of God. We don't grasp the holiness and the other than of God and his perfection. I, years ago, several years, I think it was like 2011, I had my own apartment, and it was around Christmas time. And my friend and I, we thought it'd be a good idea to like try making like Hanukkah, like a meal from Hanukkah. I don't know. So one of the things on the list of things that I was supposed to make was punchkis, only I didn't know that's what it was called. I thought it was called ponchicks because I couldn't read it. So in my head, I was like, I'm making ponchicks, okay. So it had like 3 ingredients, and there was like dough, jelly, and then, I guess this would be 4. Boy, I can't talk and I can't count. So it would be sugar and cinnamon. Okay, so 4 ingredients, okay. So I thought, I'll make this all the time. That's what I'll do because this is so simple. So I'm making it. It says you have to get your oil up to 350 degrees. And I didn't have a thermometer, so I thought, well, 350 should be boiling. I don't know. Turn it on high. So I did that. I put a big pot of oil on the stove, turned it on high. And my mom calls because we had just had a great afternoon together decorating my whole house for Christmas. And she calls and she's like, honey, just be careful because sometimes that stuff gets kind of carried away. And I'm like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. And so I'm like talking to her, and I'm like, oh, now my stupid smoke alarm's going off, Mom. And she's like, well, maybe just wave a towel over it. And it's getting kind of smoky. I'm like, I'm going to open up the windows. The smoke alarm goes off. So I go and I'm waving a towel over the smoke alarm. I come back and my pan is like 10 inches on fire. And I was literally just there like stirring it. I'm like, I should have been burnt. So I think fire, water. Bad idea. Have you? I am so sorry. It's terrible. Never do. If you learn anything from this, get a fire extinguisher. Don't put water on hot oil, okay? Don't do that. So I did. Baking soda, put a pan over it. Don't carry it. Don't carry it to the window. You're supposed to do that. So I threw water on it. Boof. Explosion. Massive explosion. It was terrifying. I lost my phone. My mom thought I said I was on fire because I'm screaming fire. So I am like, I see the walls. The walls are peeling. They're just like peeling off. I'm thinking, I'm not sure how to get out of here because it's going down my hallway. It's like coming at me. It's going around in the ceiling. The breaker broke. Breaker went off and stuff. And so it's like dark in there except for the fire. And so I'm like, I always thought this would be one of the worst ways to die. That's literally what I thought. And I'm like, here we go. And then, as I'm standing there, I realized I could get out under the archway, which had fire across it. So I went out, and I went to the neighbor's house, and it was in a duplex, so I let the lady know next door, because I thought, great, now I'm going to burn her down too. Like, what have I done? I can't believe I've done this. And so I go and I start to get the fire, run into the different houses and stuff, it's snow. So snow all over. I have slippers on and an apron. And I'm running in my slippers, falling in the snow, trying to get to the neighbor's house. Finally get a fire extinguisher. I get back and it's black and orange. That's what I can see in my house. So I'm thinking, I just remember standing out there on my sidewalk looking at the stars and going, oh, Lord, please help me. And what I realized, though, is the holiness of God is like that type of intensity. Okay, he is so perfect. He is like pure, hot, boiling oil. He's so perfect that when our imperfection hits it, explosive. It's explosive. It's just his nature. It's not because he loves us less or because he's a mean God. It's the fact that he is so perfect that our imperfections have just an explosive result to it. It's kind of like the sun. You can behold and you can receive its glory. You can receive the sun and the heat. But if you were to go up to it, surely you would die, right? You wouldn't survive the sun because it's just so perfect. This is what we need to understand about the furious love of God. He finds a way to uphold his terrifying holiness so that he is able to still hold us. That's profound. He makes a way for us. And we see him do this over and over again. He creates the temple so that he can come and abide. He has created different sacrifices so that we're able to clean ourselves so that he can be with us. He's always making a way. It started in the garden. He is always making a way to make the sacrifice for us. In fact, in verse 3:21, the Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. It says the wages of sin is death in Romans. And so this is the first death that happens in the garden because he had to sacrifice an animal so that he could be with a man and woman and he could start making relationship with them again. And he does this repeatedly. And then the most profound time he does it, of course, is with Christ.